Michael. The title of Sarah's speech, her story tonight is "This is my story of my pain and triumph." Please welcome Sarah Reyes.
There are two lessons, very valuable lessons, that I want you to take home tonight. One is a person's character is shaped through their pain and challenges in life, and how that person reacts to that, how you rise above it. The second lesson I would like you to take home is from that character and from that pain and struggle and rising above these situations, you form your passion in life. You form your vision and your mission in life. Fellow Toastmasters, mi nombre es Sara Alejandro Reyes. My name is Sara Alejandro Reyes. Yo soy un medio español, medio Filipino. I am half Spanish, half Filipino. And this is the story of my childhood pain and triumph. I came from a very unconventional family. We lived in a house with other 7 families. And having that Spanish and Filipino blood, there were a lot of very, very, very strong personalities. There was chaos. We would fight over everything and anything, especially food. Having this sort of environment built that sort of resilience in me. I became I would believe, a great team player and a very, very strong-hearted person, because I have to fight over everything. And I was the only child, and everyone had siblings to defend them, and I didn't have one. At the age of 4, my mom had breast cancer. Her left breast was augmented. I was too young to know what was happening, but I remember her in the hospital losing her hair, and she said to me, "Sarah, it's okay. At the end of this, I feel lighter in front." And that sort of gave me that humor in life. And whatever challenges I had to find humor in it. At the age of 8, because we were very poor, and poor in the Philippines, I mean, we were middle class, but poor in the Philippines is very poor. Middle class is poor. My dad was a banker and my mom was a professor, but we couldn't afford to buy things that we want in life. And so my mom had to make this very tough decision to go to Saudi Arabia for 2 years. I didn't see her for 2 years. They weren't allowed to go out. It is a Muslim country, and they were only allowed once a week to go out, and they have to be all covered. Plus, she was saying that, it's just too expensive, I might as well just go straight up for 2 years. And for an 8-year-old, not to have a mom and be in that house, it's quite challenging, I would say. However, as Mom said, you need to be very strong. And so that brought up my entrepreneurship skill. I commissioned my two cousins to build this little store in front of our house with 4 wooden stakes and a little blanket on top. While every other kid in the whole world would go on summer holidays, I went to work. So we sold this dessert. It's called a halo-halo. It's a very famous dessert. And I told Jean, my cousin, you make the ice. And then I told my other cousin, you make all the little fillings, the sweet stuff in it, and we put it in a glass. So Jean would grind the ice, and my other cousin would put all the ingredients in, and I was the marketing person. And I collect the money. And luckily there was 24 hours jeepney in front of me. If you know tuk-tuk in Thailand, this is a longer form of tuk-tuk. And 24 hours transport would come by. So at the end of summer, we have all this money to buy a few things that we want in life. But I said to them, don't get too excited. We have to reinvest the money. I mean, not in that term, but we have to save this money so on Christmas we could sell fruitcake, which is the Christmas pudding. They said, oh yeah. So we did that. And after 2 years, my mom came back. And after a year, she decided that she wants to divorce my dad. And this is the time I asked God, why are we so poor? And why does it have to happen to me? I'm in such a young age. And then I told myself, and I'm 11 at this time. There are only 2 things, Sarah. It's either you rise above it, or you crumble into pieces. And I chose to rise above it. And so we packed our bags and left. I wasn't able to say goodbye to my dad. I have no idea up to now what exactly happened, but that's the last time I saw my dad. We went to my auntie's house, and my mom and I rented a small room with 50 other million people again, but it was fun. And she, again, taught in the university, which is called University of Santo Tomas, which is one of the top 4 universities in the Philippines. And I went on a scholarship. That means I need to be a nerd. You know, everyone again is playing. I had to bury myself in books. But I wanted to play, but I can't. And I said, Sarah, this is it. We gotta have a mission and a vision in life. And your mission is to finish college, do your master's, work right after, do all these things. And you gotta keep your path straight, because there's no other option. Otherwise, you will fail. So, I graduated college, and right after graduation, I applied on my first job. And the first job was, there were 50 applicants in that school. It was a private school, and it's equivalent to King School. It's a big school, and I made it to the top 5. There were only, out of the 50 applicants, there were only going to get 5. And I made it. And my mom was elated. And I said, this is it. Your mission and vision is going to happen, but don't forget, you have to give back. So the first salary I had, I gave it all to my mom, because she deserves it. So I said, even though I was on scholarship, she didn't really pay for my education, She deserves it. Two years later, I was I've been burying this under my bed. I made it to a magazine in the Philippines. It's called Me Magazine, and I was voted one of the most inspiring teachers. And this is my photo. And the moment my mom saw that, it doesn't look like much like me. Yeah, just assured me that we've triumphed, Mom. And from this point on, I dedicate my life to teaching children and also teaching poor children in the Philippines. After I go to work, and I tutor as well, so obviously you have to have more money to support your life. Fellow Toastmasters, mi nombre es Sara Alejandro Reyes. This is the story of my pain and triumph.
As I said in the beginning, we all have our stories, and this was Sarah's story. It might not be the best story, that's subjective, but it's a meaningful story. So with that in mind, could we please give Sarah another hand of applause?